All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are coming to you live from the wonderful world of the YouTube sports community. It's the first of the month, so cash your checks and come up, man. Ladies and gentlemen, it is the Real Sports Podcast, and today, man, we're going to talk about the NFL Combine. We're going to talk about Zach Wilson, and we're going to talk about the King, LeBron James, going for the 40,000, man. So we got a good show for you guys, so sit back and relax and enjoy the Sports Talk Show. Man, we appreciate you guys for coming through and choosing the Real Sports Podcast, man. It is your destination for real analysis and opinions on anything and everything sports related. And we're on one of the few podcasts that does live interaction with the live chat, man. So come on in and say what you need to say, man, and post it. We're gonna talk some sports today. Also, you can follow us on all social media, and you can join our sports group on Facebook. It is called the Real Sports Group. Ladies and gentlemen, he is back. My man, he is back. We're not going to even call him a special guest no more. He's part of the family. He's our brother now. He's part of the family. My man, ladies and gentlemen, y'all give it up. He's a Met fan. I don't know why we get along. I don't know why we get along, but it is what it is. He know who the Papas is in the NL East. He already know.
Oh, man. Already.
Y'all give it up for the very talented. It is JRG, Mr. Justin. What's up, Justin?
What's going on, gentlemen? Thank you for having me back on. It's a pleasure. I appreciate it. Love being with this crew. Good group of guys. Very good conversations. It always gets fun. Yes, I'm ready to get after it today. Listen, man, I'm ready for Mark, man. I'm ready to come for Mark, man. I told him early. Mark was ready for me today. Saturday morning, he thought he was going to wake up. The Trigger Man's back in the building.
The Trigger Man. Oh, I like that.
Trigger Man's back in the building.
You about to get that. You about to get that nickname for sure. Trigger Man.
That's what Mark called me last time. Mark hit me down. I liked it, though. I liked it. It's tough.
Mark,
I did, bro. He was triggering me the whole show.
You son of a bitch. You told him that?
Yeah, man.
I liked it.
I like that. Trigger Man it is. Trigger Man it is. Word. I'm about to copyright that, though, because it's on the Real Sports Podcast. Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, I got the OG. He's back. The OG is back, ladies and gentlemen. The legend. That's my man right there. He is too hot to handle, and he is too cold to hold, ladies and gentlemen. Representing the mighty Minnesota Vikings, it is the legendary Q-Dog.
Yes. It's good to be back amongst my brothers and amongst my colleagues, and I missed y'all. I really did. And so I'm ready to get in here and rub minds with these sports minds and see what we can come up with, what we can conjure up.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. The dog. You here, boy. You here.
What's up? Oh, man. That dog sounds like got asthma. You get a little louder with that. There you go.
Hey, that's an old dog now. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, yeah, all right.
Cool with it. Last but not least, man, we got the pioneer of the Real Sports Podcast. The man is over 200 episodes on his resume. He is my day one, part of the 3-time Super Bowl champion, the Las Vegas Raiders. He's Oklahoma State's alumni. He is the king of predictions. He's the longest reigning NFL trivia champion. Holy smoke, he is the loyal champion of the world. I don't know how many times this man got, but I'm keep going. But ladies and gentlemen, it is the very talented and Mr. Young Mark.
Hey, what's going on, y'all? I want to give a quick Real to Sports shout out to my guy, Raja Caruth. He last night made history in Las Vegas. He became only the third African American to win a race on one of NASCAR's 3 top levels. Shout out to him. He's a local kid. Not only is he a full-time driver in NASCAR, but he's also a full-time student in his senior year at the Winston-Salem State University, right here in the great state of North Carolina. So I want to give a shout out to him and congratulations on the first win last night.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Down 40.
Hey, that's awesome,
Yes,
Mark. I know about that. That's fire, bro.
Winston State, baby, the hometown. Yeah.
Also,
where in North Carolina you near, Mark?
I'm in High Point.
Okay, word. One of my mom's best friends used to live in Wilmington back in the day. I used to go back over there and visit when I was a kid.
That's like 3 hours away from
That's on the east side.
Yeah,
it's nice. I like North Carolina, man. Nice over there.
Yeah. I'm in Greensboro, North Carolina.
Hey.
I'm in Winston-Salem. Yeah.
Winston-Salem, baby.
Yes, sir.
And I'm in cold and rainy New Jersey.
It's how we was yesterday. So y'all getting what we had. That's crazy. Shout out to Winston-Salem State, man. They also played in the All-Star game with Jennifer Hudson, man. The Winston-Salem State.
I love Jennifer Hudson. That's my girl. Dream girl.
What you talking about, bro?
Boy, Jennifer Hudson, boy. Boy. Let me make sure. I'm a wife in here, so yeah, Jennifer Hudson, boy. Boy. That mouth. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir, man. I got Justin in the building, so you know I got the energy in the building. I got the dog. I got the pioneer. Let's start this show off, man. Let's go to the NFL with these young lions here. Top draft prospects, Caleb Williams and Jaden Daniels. They won't throw at the NFL Scouting Combine. Teams will have to wait a bit longer to watch the last 2 Heisman Trophy winners throw. UFC quarterback Caleb Williams and LSU quarterback Jaden Daniels will attend the NFL Scouting Combine in Indianapolis this week for interviews and meetings, but neither plan to participate in throwing drills. Williams and Daniels, both potential top picks in the upcoming draft, are instead waiting until their respective pro days to throw and work out for scouts. Pro day is March 20th, and while LSU has announced one for USC pro day is March 20th. LSU pro day is March 27th. There's little to gain by a top quarterback prospect running drills in unfamiliar territory of the combine. So Williams and Daniels are sitting out the quarterback workouts scheduled for March 2nd. Comes as little surprise. A one-time All-American in the 2022 Heisman Trophy winner Williams had a stupendous collegiate career with a year spent at Oklahoma before transferring to USC for the last 2 campaigns. Justin, what is that?
Is that the Undertaker coming?
Is that YouTube? Did I say something wrong?
I don't know.
They tell you'll be there in a little bit, Q.
I think that was the Vikings calling Q Dog. They heard his draft pick in the pre-show and was like, all right, Q Dog, we got you.
Oh my God, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Let's do it like we did Jordan Nelson, baby. Let's hit it on the nail.
Oh
hit
my
it on the nail,
God.
baby. Byron Murphy Jr., baby, let's do it. Number 2.
All right, Justin. These guys, Jaden and Caleb, is not throwing. Is that a good idea or a bad idea?
You know, I think it's a good idea. I think you've seen a lot of the top prospects in the past 5 to 10 years kind of shift away from throwing at the combine and just work to do it in their pro days because, like the article was saying, it's better for these QBs to throw to receivers that they're familiar with and familiar environments with their comfort zone than, risking it at the combine and throwing to guys who you maybe have never thrown to, don't have chemistry with, or anything like that. So, their agents are telling them from the jump, you're not throwing at the combine. Why risk anything? Why risk having a shaky performance and then everyone says, oh, this guy didn't look right at the combine, this and that. I personally, I've always been one of these guys. I like to evaluate more on the game film and how they play in the game. There's a lot of guys that go to the combine and lift a lot of weights and run really fast, but they don't end up being good players. The Jets have had a bunch of them. Vernon Golston is the first one that comes to mind. He was the combine warrior. Everybody was like, oh, wow, Vernon Golston was crazy at the combine. And he sucked. He had no sacks in 4 years, not a single one. I don't know how you can't even accidentally get a sack.
Right.
Like, people stumble into them. People fall, you tap them. He didn't even get one of those. Right. So there's been a lot of guys like that. But if I was one of these top QBs, I wouldn't throw at the combine either. I'm going to throw at my pro day where I can control the environment more and I could, look the sharpest. So I think it's a good business decision by these guys, which I think so. Good because that's what you're looking for from your franchise QBs. You want those guys thinking like business style, CEO style. They're the face of your franchise. They're both going to be top 3 picks anyway. Why risk anything?
Good point. Good ass point. The dog. Is this a good idea? Should the young boys throw now or should they wait later?
Well, I really feel like the biggest thing that now I'm stuck on is that, me being a scientist myself, is everything is always built on chemistry. That magic word, chemistry. I'm kind of like what Justin was saying. You can be good as you want to, but until you develop chemistry with your players, then it doesn't look good when you don't develop chemistry. Mm-hmm. So, like you said, the pro days, he's going to be throwing with players that he used to throwing with, knowing they're going to be at certain times, this and that. So if you throw now, then you're throwing to unknown players, and they might not break on the ball, do a certain thing that you like to do, and it makes you look bad. Doesn't mean that you're a bad quarterback. It's just that you haven't developed that chemistry with these guys. You just basically was thrown in the fire. But at the same time, that might be how it is when you go to the NFL. Depending on what team drafted you, a lot of times you being in the top pick like that, they want to throw you in the fire. So it takes time to get this chemistry going in the playoff and preseason and camps and everything. So that chemistry has to play in too. So a lot of times, we project these players, we look at as far as what they've done at the collegiate level, but at the end of the day, it still boils down to chemistry. Chemistry, baby. You got to have it. So just because they look good in college, that they do it here at the combine, they might not look so good, but then they shine at the pro day because of the chemistry they have with the players. So it depends on what you're trying to base it on. They're not going to have these same players with them when they go to the NFL teams. So they still have to develop the chemistry. So then it's going to be on them themselves, to get that bond. Chemistry, all that is a bond. And we're going back to the science. A bond with another person, chemistry with elements, bonding together. So that has to develop. So it's kind of like I can agree with them. They don't want to throw at these combine because they know that it might make them look bad. 9 times out of 10, they probably will because the chemistry, that word chemistry, is not there. Mm-hmm. So you go to your pro day, everybody come and see you. All the cameras on you on that particular day, nobody else. And you're shining with players you're used to throwing to. All right. I mean, people say, of course, he's going to shine. He's throwing to players he used to throw to. What will happen when he get to the NFL? When he have to develop credit. So all these things going on his head and everything. So, for them, they're pro day. I understand that because they want to look good. But at the same time, you're not going to have these guys with you when you go to this NFL team that used to have this chemistry. You got to develop a chemistry. And then, who was to say you might not be the same quarterback that they thought that you would be.
Unless you're Joe Burrow, you get lucky.
yeah. I mean, it just a lot of this time, I'm not really a big type of guy when it comes to these combines and these the drafts and everything, because you look at Brock Purdy, look where he came from. I mean, it's situational and development and just building that bond with certain players. People can come out of anywhere. So, but to answer that question, yes, I think it's best for them if they want to look good and shine the way they want to shine. It's best to do it at the pro day and then at the combine.
Your pro day.
For a chemistry aspect, quote unquote.
I agree with you, Q Dog. I think the combine's overrated. I don't think the combine's the best way to measure guys anymore, man.
No, that's what I said. That's what
I think a long time ago, before we had access to all the video, film, information, and data that we have now, it might have been good to get everybody together in one spot and scout these guys. But with everything we have now, there's more than enough available information for these guys to scout and make determinations on who could play and all their measurables from, working from home and going to these guys' pro days and really scouting them. So you nailed it, Q-Dog, because the chemistry really is everything, man. We see it every year. The teams that win the most are the teams that have the most chemistry. That's why the Warriors were able to win all the championships they won. We've seen it with the Chiefs, Pat Mahomes, Travis Kelce, their chemistry.
Taylor Swift.
He runs routes, option and choice routes. You know what I'm saying? So these things, though, we see it over and over again. So you nailed it for sure, man. Chemistry is that's the biggest factor in sports. It's how you merge with your team, how everybody complements each other, knowing your role, and just having that chemistry, man. So
I know, right? It is a chemistry. Maybe we can get Ariana Grande up in the skybox. Maybe we'll win.
I mean, like when Devontae Adams was playing with Green Bay, him and Rodgers, man. I mean, they had such a good chemistry, man. It was hard to stop them two.
I was hoping we were going to be able to reunite them, but the Raiders don't want to budge, man. They don't want to give it up, man. They want to hold on to Aiden O'Connell or whatever they want to do. And
the same Aiden O'Connell that beat Zach Wilson and the Jets on national prime.
Of course, man. Of course. I mean, I knew we were gonna lose that game. If I would have been on the stuff that y'all would ask me, I would have been like, "We're gonna lose." And I probably didn't like that dude score. I had a feeling we was gonna score 9 points or something like that.
He sound like that dude that he was a Jet fan. He was an old Italian dude.
Joe Beningo?
No, I don't know. I don't even know his name. I was on the cruise ship.
Oh, okay, yeah, that might. Oh, okay. I think
he was like, yeah, I'm a Jets fan, but we're gonna lose. We know.
Yeah, I mean, you'll never meet a more pessimistic Jets fan than me, man. I always think we're gonna lose, even when we're supposed to win. I'm just scarred, bro. I'm scarred.
He said it was the second quarter. He's like, we're gonna lose this game.
Oh yeah, it don't take very long for me to give up, like in the game. Like most fans, like somebody scores first quarter, you're like, all right, we got this. We still in the game. You score first quarter against us, I'm like, it's over. I'm like, damn, like this is it. And I work to the end because I'm a psycho, and I guess I like harming myself.
I go to the end too, baby.
It hurts all the way. Yeah, I know. I always know we're gonna lose, man. I knew we were gonna lose that Raiders game early. We punted the first 5 drives. I knew it.
As long as you knew, bro.
Well, we gonna go. You just wait. Y'all just wait, because I know Justin is for the rat like hell. But Bart, is this a good idea for Caleb and Trey Daniels to sit out the combine and throw their pro days? Is this a good idea or a bad idea?
I think it's a good idea. When you're a top pick in the draft or projected top pick, you gotten that projection for a reason. The more you show of yourself, you can only show more negativity and cause your stock to fall even more.
Jesus, you're right about that.
I'll give you a prime example. I'm thankful Q-Dog is on the show today. Let's take it back a decade ago to the 2014 NFL draft. There were a lot of questions about some of the top quarterback prospects in that draft, one of them being Blake Bortles. He was a relatively unknown QB going into it. He went to the combine, performed really, really well, ended up becoming a first-round pick.
Yeah.
But late in the process, there was another quarterback in that draft named Teddy Bridgewater. Q-Dog knows a lot about him.
Teddy Buckshot.
He had a bad pro day, and because he had that bad performance so late in the game, he almost fell out of the first round. Thankfully, Minnesota traded up to go and get him. So the moral of the story is if you're already projected to go really high, stay put. You don't got to do too much. Really, you just go into the combine and interview with the teams who might draft you, because as Q-Dog likes to attest to on the show, it's one thing to chat virtually with somebody or via text message, but it's another thing to look another man in the eye and speak to him face to face and see what he's really about. So to me, the purpose of the combine is for guys to interview and show who they are off the field, see if that matches up with their game on the field. If you're already like locked in as a top pick, or if you're a guy from a relatively unknown school who may not have a lot of film out there on you, so you can use the combine to work out really well and boost your draft stock. We've seen guys like Byron Jones and Justin Ross go from relative unknowns prior to the combine to them testing really well in the on-field drills and becoming first-round picks. So, or another example, there was a dude. He went to college at Penn State. I ain't gonna say no names. I don't want to get Justin fired up. But this quarterback went to Penn State. Didn't really play too well on the field.
Holy hell! Why
really
you bring
well,
that dude up, man?
because he tested really well at the combine. The Jets still picked him pretty high in the draft. And let's just say that quarterback not only bombed out of the NFL, he bombed out of the Alliance of American Football, and was never heard from again.
Without even making an appearance for the Jets.
Not even making an appearance, bro.
That's the field, bro.
Sucks.
I'm not naming no names, but I see, ladies and gentlemen, Justin knows who I'm talking about.
You know, that man's name fits himself more than any other athlete. Hackenberg. He's a hack, bro. That name fits that man more than anybody ever, bro. He's such a hack. And Mark, you make a good point about the combine being good for interviews, man. Another guy that comes to mind that was kind of like in a small school but went over there and tested crazy was Marcus Davenport. He got drafted in the first round by the Saints. He was a small school guy, UTSA. And he ended up going to the combine balling out. He was picked 14th overall. The Saints traded out. It didn't work out for the Saints. They wasted draft capital trading up for that man. But nonetheless, it worked out for him. But man, Christian Hackett, why you got to bring that up, Mark?
I'm glad you said that.
Looking to do right now, man.
Yeah,
I see how it is, man.
Hey, Justin, it could have been worse, bro. I could have mentioned another third-round pick that the Jets took at the draft because he performed really well at the combine, and then later came out and said on national television he learned how to play the position of quarterback and read defenses by playing Madden. I don't know if you heard her name. What was his name? Bryce Petty. I don't know if you heard of that.
Bryce Petty?
Of course, the guy from Baylor. Man. Bryce Petty.
Oh, man.
The only thing Bryce Petty could do was bomb that ball, man. He had a crazy arm, but
Mark is a heel today.
Anything else? Yeah, I remember all these guys, man. I got the stars today.
The Jets always get them.
I've seen some of the worst quarterback play in my life. The worst one, though, is you remember you're a college football guy too, right, Mark? You remember Luke Falk? Falk, Washington State. He was the worst, man. I swear to this day, I don't think he looked at the playbook at all. I think he said to himself earlier in the week, he said, I'm going to go out there and just wing it, see how it looks, because that was some of the worst action I've ever seen in my life. I mean, him and Zach are the two worst, because Zach's had some of the worst games I've ever seen in my life. For real. Like, it's not even, it's funny, but it's kind of not. Like,
it's not really what it is.
He's had some games where, I mean, bro, I can remember three years ago, me and my best friend, we went to go watch the Jets practice. They do a green and white scrimmage at MetLife Stadium every year. And before the practice, it's like a scrimmage. So they had like a little practice. Like they were doing drills, lineman drills, QB drills. And Zach Wilson, man, he was throwing the ball, hitting linemen's heads in the back of the head in a practice. I'm not even joking, bro. Me and my boy were there. God. We knew right spot on them. We didn't have the guy. I seen him hit. He was hitting people in the back of the helmet, throwing the ball, man, in a scrimmage. Terrible. So I knew right then and there. So yeah, I remember all these guys, Mark. I got the scars, man. You know what? The Raiders got a lot of scars too, man. You guys were starting Matt McGloin for a little while, man.
Oh my God.
Hey, Matt McGloin wasn't bad. You feel me? He won't always bad.
With Connor. Good Lord.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Hey, but at least Matt McGloin went to Penn State and actually saw the field in the NFL. So
That's true. I'll give you that. He's from Scranton, where I went to college, Matt McGloin. He's a rock star over there. He's like the most successful Scranton athlete ever. They love him.
Yeah. What you got, Q?
Well, I was saying that Justin, when you mentioned Marcus Davenport, he currently plays for the Vikings, and I understand what you're talking about. With somebody with just a high profile of a talent, and he just it's an old school saying that they say that you're hell when you're well, you just stay sick all the damn time, and that fits him, and he just can't stay healthy. But when he's in there, when he's playing, you can see the talent. You can see his level of talent is pretty much above everybody else's. You can tell when he plays because he makes sacks, he make plays, but then turn around and then he get hurt. But when he's in the game, his level of talent is beyond everybody. You can tell. I can tell a lot of the games that he played with the Vikings this year. I watched him when he was playing, and how he wasn't a major disruptor like John Renner, but he was disruptive.
John Renner.
He caused a little havoc. So, but I know when we extended him, what's going to cut him, but we extended him to want something. So they're going to decide what they want to do with him because they know that they want to give him a shot because it's hard to ignore talent. It's hard, especially when that it's kind of above everybody else when it's out there. So they don't want to let him go somewhere and then he goes somewhere and shine. So that's what they're trying to figure out. But you hit the nose on the nose when you talk about Marcus Davenport. I know you're talking about.
If
talent.
You're a first round pick in the NFL with the talent level and it don't work out, you get at least 2 to 3 more chances. That's the only time where you really get opportunities like that.
Sure do.
Like you said,
unless you're Jamarcus Russell.
Well, listen, man. Jamarcus Russell decided to eat himself out of the league. That's
word.
Story, man.
He didn't take it serious. He didn't take it serious.
I mean, Stephen A. said it best, man. Only time you saw him exerting some effort was when he was blowing his nose and eating donuts, man. Stephen A. said that, not even me. So
that's true. But it's true.
Yeah, but yeah, man. These guys, they like Q Dog said, man. The talent, but you can see that talent level. You're gonna keep getting opportunities, man. That's why this guy Josh Gordon kept getting opportunities, man. Josh Gordon.
Yeah. I remember it. Josh Gordon. Yeah.
He just kept giving him opportunities because he was so good and so talented.
He was so talented.
He was playing the XFL, and it looked like he was playing with little leaguers because he's just so much more talented than everybody.
Now, how many times did he get? Now he got a bunch of time. How many times did he get?
God,
I can't even tell.
You ain't kidding, boy.
Hold on, I got you.
Mark.
I remember he was with the Patriots. He was with the Seahawks.
The Browns.
There was at least three teams that gave him an opportunity. I know the Patriots and the Seahawks signed him for sure. He was getting run with them after everything flamed out with the Browns. But yeah, man, he's another one. These guys.
All right. You want the list?
Yeah.
All right. He started out with Cleveland. Then he went to New England. Then he was with Seattle. Then he was in the Fan Control Football League. Then he went to the team with a good barbecue. He played for the Tennessee Titans, and he just finished up with the Seattle Sea Dragons, formerly of the XFL.
He's with the Titans? What year?
But he's with the Titans in 2022. It is worth noting he is a Super Bowl champion. He did win Super Bowl 53.
Come on.
Which is the worst Super Bowl of all time.
The Water Boy won that Super Bowl.
Terrible. And Q-Dog, you also made a great point, too, about the situation, man. A lot of these guys getting drafted, it matters the situation they get drafted into. Like, as much as I love Pat Mahomes and as much as I think he's the young GOAT, if he got drafted by us, the Jets, he would not be what he ended up becoming because we don't have the infrastructure to support that. Where he got drafted was a large part of the success and why he was able to be so successful so quickly. You mentioned a good point, too, with Brock Purdy. Brock Purdy got dropped in an ideal situation in San Francisco. Right. He was given a Ferrari and told not to crash it. Like, it's an ideal situation. He's got an amazing roster, and that's. But then you got guys that have a lot of talent, but aren't drafted into the best situations. Looking like a Baker Mayfield, but he was with Cleveland and first started out. He was able to win a playoff game, and Baker's not great. I'm not saying he's the best, but he went to Tampa Bay this year.
I'm sorry, he's not what?
He's not the best. He's not the best. But he's, he can do his thing. And he went to Tampa Bay this year.
Yeah,
he ended up in a solid situation.
Yeah, he balled out.
He ended up in a solid situation, and he was able to win a playoff game with it. So the situation matters just as much as talent in some regards, and that's why a lot of these guys, talented players that have ended up on the Jets, have flamed out because we've never had the infrastructure to support them. What you got, Mark? I see you shaking your head. What you got?
Yeah, you can't say nothing about Baker Mayfield today.
I'm
like
sorry,
Baker, but he's a middle of the pack QB.
Yeah, he's still Mark. He is, bro.
I mean, just like with the Vikings, I really feel that they have to have the type of quarterback that's going to be suitable for Justin Jefferson. They got to have the kind of quarterback that's going to throw that ball out there. They can't have a dink and dunk quarterback. It's not going to work for Jefferson. Period. It's not going to work.
Mark,
they have to have that.
Rank, Mark. Where does God think Baker rank? He's shaking his head at me.
I mean, I've been championing Baker freaking Mayfield since he came to the National Football League. No other quarterback in that 2018 draft class would have found anything close to success in Cleveland except for him.
You don't think Lamar would have been successful in Cleveland?
No.
Lamar would have been successful. He's one of those guys who's successful wherever he went.
It's one thing to have the talent, but you got to have the intangibles up here to be able to walk into a very crappy situation and turn it around. Baker is one of only 2 quarterbacks that I've ever seen personally in my lifetime who have been able to go into literally the worst situation in anywhere in professional sports and turn that team not only to a winner, but a consistent winner while he was up there.
Who's the other one?
Derek Carr with the Raiders.
You're not saying Burrow? Burrow went to the Bengals. They were terrible. He took them on the doorstep of the Super Bowl.
Andy Dalton had him in the playoffs every year.
What does Carr do for the Raiders? How are you going to say Derek Carr? You're going to create this list, Mark list of one of 2 QBs.
He said Mark list.
Burrow and Luck aren't on it? Come on, bro.
Yeah, because
Luck went to a garbage team, took them to the playoffs 3 years in a row.
Luck didn't go into a garbage team, bro. Luck walked into a team that was a quarterback away. They had Peyton Manning for how long? Yeah, because they didn't have a quarterback, but they had everything else.
There, he was throwing to Kobe Fleener. He didn't have guys like that.
He had T.Y. Hilton.
And what about Burrow? Burrow went to a terrible Bengals team.
Were they terrible?
He uplifted them.
Were they terrible?
They were terrible.
Andy Dalton had him in the playoffs every year.
But when Burrow. After that little playoff run, Zach Taylor's first year there before Burrow, they were terrible. They had the first pick in the draft for a reason. They were 2-14. They had no talent. I'll
give you this, Justin. As bad as the Colts and the Bengals are, one thing that you can say consistently throughout the 2000s millennium, they've been competitive. The Raiders and the Browns were literally the 2 worst situations you could find anywhere in professional sports in America, maybe even the world. Poorly run, constantly picking at the top of the draft. Y'all had Sanchez and Rex Ryan, and Herm Edwards.
That's true, but you acting like
we had Jamarcus freaking Russell, bro.
You guys went to a Super Bowl. You guys were making the playoffs in the early.
After that from 2003 to 2016, really.
With Jack Del Rio,
we were one of the worst teams anywhere in professional sports, and I love my Raiders to death. But between us and Cleveland, we were terrible. Brandon Weeden, freaking shout out Brandon Weeden, Oklahoma State.
Brandon Weeden,
Brady Quinn, Randy Quinn, come on, bro.
He was the original 28-year-old college QB. He was the original.
Yeah, man.
That's a fact.
But again, I digress. Those are 2 of the worst situations.
So where you got Baker ranked in the league then? Where you think he is? Because you looking at me crazy for saying I think he's a slightly above average.
Top 10.
He had him.
He's top 10.
Nah, he's not top 10.
He's top 10.
He's not a top 10.
He won the division and got to the divisional round of the playoffs.
You think Baker top 10, Q-Dog?
No.
Aaron, you think Baker top 10? Come on. What are we saying here? Baker is a top 10 QB.
I'm sorry. If you get to the second round of the playoffs, that mean you a bum? Come on now.
No, he just got his first good year in 3 years.
What?
Yeah, he had his first good year in 3 years. His last 2 years.
Because he played for trash organizations. Carolina ruined him. And then LA, he
Sean McVay rehabbed his career. He went to Sean McVay rehab center. And Sean McVay kind of fixed him that little bit. But
no, Josh McDumbass fixed him too, but that's another story.
But I don't know if he's top 10, man. You got a lot of guys. You got a lot of guys that are just above him on a different level, man. Like
I tell you what, if he goes to the playoffs,
he's in that 12 to 16, 17 range.
Yeah.
I'll give you that.
If he was in the AFC East, he'd be the best quarterback in that division.
Nah, Tua's better than him.
What?
Tua, you tripping?
Better than Baker. Tua's better than Baker.
Oh, you tripping, bro?
And Josh Allen is a million times better than him.
So then, how come Baker went number one ahead of Josh Allen that year?
Oh, that's
because the NFL scouting, specifically of quarterbacks, is a very flawed process.
Baker Mayfield.
That's why the hit rate is so low.
Yeah.
Top ranked QBs, like even guys that are picked number 1 overall, number 2 overall. You've seen it with my own team with a few times now. Sam Darnold, Zach Wilson. These guys don't pay. A lot of these guys don't pan out, bro. And the way the NFL scouts QBs is very backwards, yo. A lot of these guys make mistakes and they drop late, and a lot of these guys that could play get picked later than they should have, and a lot of guys that can't play get picked higher than they should have. You mentioned a great one earlier, Blake Bortles. Blake Bortles got picked way higher than he should have been. He's a second or third round pick, but he's 6'6", 230, big arm. These teams fall in love with
the NFC Championship game.
Yeah, they fall in love with projections, things like that. So to answer your question, that's why Baker got picked over Josh Allen, because if teams evaluate it differently. I mean, Josh Allen ended up playing at Wyoming. It's hard to evaluate.
Who the hell? Who knows about Wyoming? Who knows?
Barry Sanders won a Heisman Trophy from a very small town called Stillwater, Oklahoma, back in the days before the internet and cable television.
Barry Sanders is also a transcendent talent, though. Let's be real. He's one of those guys that he transcends. He would have been relevant at any time of era because he was that special.
Baker had the intangibles, though. There was literally nobody else who had the infectious personality that could turn that dumpster fire around but Baker Mayfield.
Yeah, and he also had the personality that contributed to that dumpster fire, calling out the medical staff, calling out other players.
That was Freddie Kitchens and
there was
Hugh
guys
Jackson
in the locker room that didn't like him. We know that already. That's reported. Odell's dad was posting videos of Baker missing him.
That's Odell and his blonde-haired ego.
We want to talk about it. Let's be real with it, man. Baker also contributed to a lot of the issues that his attitude, acting like he was above everything because he won a playoff game. Like, you still haven't won big yet, bro. You Baker Mayfield. Like, you won a couple playoff games, but you can't be acting like I got to be running the organization or trying to tell these guys how to act and behave. Like, he's not. Who is he to tell Odell what to be doing? Yo, throw Odell.
Jarvis Landry ain't had no problem with him. David Njoku ain't had no problem with him.
That's what you think. I think Jarvis Landry had a problem with him. Odell's his best friend. You don't think he was sitting in the background with Odell on him?
Hey, bro, they got it done on the field. That's all I can say.
But they didn't win anything of note. But and I think Baker is good, but I think
they didn't. Let's go and set the record straight, then, bro. They didn't win anything of note because of one of the worst rules in all of football, and that's that stupid fumble out of the end zone.
I hate that rule. We agree on that. I hate that rule.
That's the reason why Baker didn't win anything of note. Because if you remember, he had that team with a good barbecue on the ropes ready to be beat that year. I ain't trying to hear that.
That's the dumbest rule in sport. What do you think they should do instead of it, though? Like, if you fumble out the end zone, what would you do? I'm very curious. I'd like asking people about this rule because I hate that rule.
Hell, I don't know what to do with that.
If you fumble about the end zone, I think they should put it at the 1.
Okay, I've heard that.
That's about the reasonable. That's about the most reasonable.
What about you, Mark?
I say the offense will change possession, and the ball just gets placed back at the original line of scrimmage where the play started.
I think either that, or maybe if you want to have some sort of penalty for it, maybe make it a 5-yard penalty or something like that. Knock them back if it fumbles out the end zone, but to just turn the possession over is crazy, man. I don't know what you think, Aaron, but that's crazy. I hate that rule.
Yeah. I agree with the 1-yard line. Just put it at 1. Just put it at the 1. I mean, why not? And that's how to settle that. But Mark, you all right?
I'm good, man.
I got some super glue because You know, getting ripped to shreds over there, bro.
Hey, bro, y'all know how I get down. I've secretly been a fan of Baker Mayfield since his days in college. I just couldn't root for him because he went to the ugly school. But
yeah, I was about to say that, man. Why are you standing so hard for this guy? That's your rival, bro.
Justin, I root for him so hard because he passed the eye test with me. I've seen that man play live in person.
White dude with a bad arm.
You know,
he passed the eye test. You don't
I'm sorry. I saw him.
Eye test with me. 6'6", 240.
I saw him storm into Stillwater, Oklahoma, and light my Cowboys up live and in person. I was freezing my butt off, but I remember like it was yesterday. And ever since then, I just knew he was the truth, man. I couldn't root for him in college because he where he went to school. I only rooted for him in college one time out loud, and that was against Georgia. But Baker's the truth.
Man, I would have booted you off the campus for that.
You'd be surprised, Justin. It's so many.
There's a lot of Oklahoma fans.
It's a lot of them, bro.
I bet there is. That's like my buddies went to Michigan State, and there's a lot of Michigan fans at Michigan State. It's just how it is in those Western states like that, man. That's how it is. But that's awesome. I like that you stand so hard for the team, though, man. For real, I love that you love Oklahoma State like that. But it's just a little traitor, though. A little traitor action from you over there, bro. I love Baker Mayfield, man. Like, that's like an Alabama fan. Like, I love Cam Newton.
Shit. I like Cam Newton, but he Auburn.
Cam Newton is one of my favorite players of all time.
I can't do that. One of my favorite quarterbacks
of all time. I love me some Bam Newton. I saw him play live against my Jets. He lit us up. But watching him live, man, and I was up close, was like one of the best experiences ever, man. He's the size of the lineman, but he's moving as fast as the receivers. He was amazing to watch. He's one of my favorites ever. I think he's very underrated in his career, man.
Yeah, absolutely, man. So y'all ready for
he's getting into fights now at
we talked about that. What was it, Tuesday, Mark?
Yeah,
something like that. Yeah, he's getting into some fights with some no names.
Well, this next subject is going, ladies and gentlemen. Justin is I'll put it like this. Jets GM Joe Douglas says team has given Zach Wilson permission to seek trade. Zach Wilson's tumultuous tenure with the New York Jets is on the verge of closing after 3 seasons. Gang Green general manager Joe Douglas said on Wednesday that the club permitted Wilson's agent to seek a trade. He said this, and I quote, well, I've had good conversations with his agent and Douglas during the news conference at the 2024 NFL Scouting Combine, where we've given them permission to talk to other teams about a trade. I'm going to circle back with Brian at some point this week or next week just to see how those conversations go. Other than that, there's nothing else to report. The number 2 overall pick in 2021 started 33 games over 3 seasons with the Jets, including 11 in 2023. After brief flashes as a rookie, Wilson never progressed as a passer or in reading defenses.
Flashes.
Yeah, right. He struggled mightily this season after taking over for an injured Aaron Rodgers in what was supposed to be a backup year during which Wilson learned behind the MVP. Wilson was bent multiple times as the Jets never found stability under center, what amounted to a lost season. So let's start off with the New York Jet fan. Let's start off with Justin. Justin, all right. So Zach Wilson is out. He's pretty much going out of the door. Now, here's my question to you. Do you keep him or do you trade him? And if you trade him, what team can do Zach Wilson's service that you think?
There's a couple in the XFL that I could think of off the top of my head that might be able to use Zach Wilson's services. And all I really have to say to Zach Wilson is, man, I really hope the door doesn't hit him in the backside on the way out. He's got to be one of the – actually, to me personally, in my time as a Jets fan, I'm being dead serious right now. So I see I laugh at something. This is like, in my time as a Jets fan, he really is the worst draft pick that we have had. And that is saying something because we have had some terrible draft picks. But never have I seen a player that is so undedicated, unfocused, uncommitted, and ineffective in any way, shape, or form. That article that you just read us, whoever wrote that should be fired immediately for saying that they said that he showed flashes during his rookie year. What flashes has that man shown? He has had 3 good games in 3 years. That's an average of 1 game a year that he plays well. He is one of the worst QBs I have ever seen, one of the worst in modern NFL history by a significant margin. By any objective metric, QBR, yards per attempt, touchdown to interception ratio. He is the same size as Pat Mahomes, yet in his pads he looks small. He's a tiny guy. All he has is a good arm. He's a little mobile, but not as fast as he thinks he is. And I'm just grateful that, the team is moving on from him. To answer your initial question, there is 0.000% chance there is a world where I think it's a good idea to keep him on the roster. He is a big part of the reason why my team has not been able to advance forward. His ineffectiveness and his unwillingness to commit to being great and to being a winning QB, and his inability to focus and to lock in on the prize, man. And it hurts me because I never wanted him. I didn't want Zach Wilson. I didn't think the hype was warranted for him. He had 1 good year during the COVID year, played at BYU. They didn't really play anybody that was all that special or anything. And then all of a sudden, I'm hearing that my team is going to draft him number 2 overall. And it's just, I'm happy this is over, man. To move forward as a franchise, we need that young man out of the building. He has done nothing but brought distractions with his attitude. The team turned on him last year. The locker room turned on him. I turned on him like I was telling you. I saw him in practice throwing balls off the back of a lineman's helmet 3 years ago. This man never had an opportunity to be anything more than a below-average starter at the NFL level. And unfortunately, my team, me and my fan base and my other friends that are Jets fans had to deal with the brunt of that for the last 3 years. And I had to wake up every Sunday morning knowing that, I'm excited to watch my defense play, but I know that we're going to punt 13 times. And maybe, just maybe, if the score is 9-3 in the fourth quarter, we might be able to get a touchdown. I hate that guy. I don't know if that's clear from this, but I hate that guy, man. At least Sam Darnold, who I also couldn't stand and couldn't wait for him to get up out of there too because he sucked also. At least I felt that he kind of cared. Zach Wilson, I think he cares about his little Instagram model girl that he met up here and his whole social life and being in Utah and being weird, whatever he's doing. So I'm just happy he's gone, man, Aaron. I'm really happy that he's out of here. And I think this is what the Jets needed to do to move forward as a franchise. We're clearly in shambles. We got players saying Mecole Hardman was leaking our game plans.
Yeah, I've seen that.
It's just, it's a circus, and the circus needs to stop. And,
who could do Zach Wilson's service? What team in the NFL? What 31?
I think the DC Defenders of the XFL might be able to use him. But in the NFL, I really...
hold up, homeboy. Hold up. I'm a DC Defender fan. Don't do my boys like that, dog.
Yo, I've been to one of their games before. One of my boys got season tickets. That feels pretty tight.
Yeah, bro. Don't do my boys like that, man. We ain't did nothing to you.
Maybe the Seattle Battlehawks or something then. But I think in the NFL... what team can use Zach Wilson's services? You got to look around the league, and there's only a couple of people I think that might be interested in taking a chance on him. It seems like Sean McVay is a little bit open to taking on project guys. We saw it with Baker. We saw it with Stetson Bennett. I think he likes taking on these guys.
Carson Wentz.
And trying to develop them. So I could see maybe the Rams being slightly interested, but then again, they have Mike LaFleur, who was ROC, who has openly said that he felt he would have been successful if he had anybody else besides Zach Wilson. And I kind of agree with him, too, because whenever Mike White, Josh Johnson, or anybody else went in, that offense suddenly looked effective.
Yeah, Mike White came in and the fans was going crazy.
Mike White's the one that got away from me, man. I fell in love with Mike White.
The fans
I was drinking the Kool-Aid, bro. I thought he was going to be the guy that rescued me out of this.
No, Wardo, he was a good backup. He was, and he came in and he stepped in. He threw for a lot of yards, and I thought he was gonna
be the guy. If we had Mike White against the Raiders against Aiden O'Connell, we would have won that game easy. But yeah, man, it's just I'm happy Zach Wilson's out. I mean, I can't think of a guy in the last 5 years that's been drafted in the top 5 that's been as bad as him. I don't know if you guys can. Maybe Mark might be able to, but he really is that bad, bro. Like, there's not a single thing that he does well. Like, and I'm just happy to be moving on from him, man. So to answer your question in short, Aaron, I don't know if any team really can even use him. Maybe Kyle Shanahan. I know that they liked him around the draft time. Maybe they want a different backup. Maybe he just wants to keep recycling our busted, draft picks and see what he could do with them. But those are the only 2 teams I can really think of that could use Zach Wilson's services, man. He's like Woody Johnson said, he's not even a backup, man. He said we didn't have a backup QB last year.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Turn their back on him, Q.
That's what I got to say about Zach Wilson, man.
Okay. Q, should the Jets get rid of Zach Wilson or should they sign him? And if they get rid of him, what team should he go to? What team could use Zach Wilson as quarterback? Backup or starter, don't matter.
Well, I want to talk about something we said earlier, Justin, that you stated that if Patrick Mahomes would have came to the Chiefs, he wouldn't be the Patrick Mahomes. I mean, to the Jets, he wouldn't be the Patrick Mahomes we know today because of this the program that the Jets run. Did you say that earlier?
I did, definitely did.
Okay. Now, going to say that, and the way Zach Wilson played, if he goes somewhere else and shine, so what would that say?
There's a 0% chance Zach Wilson will shine anywhere else.
I'm just asking. So what would that say, though?
I mean, that would just be a further indictment on my team that we are.
Okay, that's what I'm saying. Because you said, I remember you said that earlier. So sometimes, I mean, you came out your own mouth. So if you felt that way, that if you would have got a Patrick Mahomes, and then your team would have done him far as damage, far as he wouldn't have been the Patrick Mahomes that we see today, then, I mean, to me, it seems like you don't have faith in your organization getting a top-tier quarterback.
Q-Dog, I have zero faith in my organization. I have zero faith. So you nailed it, man. Why should I have faith in my organization?
I got what you're saying. I understand what you're saying. So
yeah,
if we got Aaron Rodgers coming back next year and everything, so I'm sure that y'all, he's not going to be around for long. So y'all probably going to be in the market of drafting another quarterback somewhere.
I will say this, Q-Dog, though. Obviously, and I did say if Mahomes got drafted by us, he wouldn't be. But he would be better than Zach Wilson has been, man. A lot of guys would have been. Sam Darnold was better with us than Zach Wilson was, at least.
Geno Smith.
He was somebody that's not that great either, but at least he was able to get some drives together, Q-Dog. That's what I'm trying to say, man. Like, Zach Wilson is very, very bad, man. I'm telling you. Whenever he goes, you'll see. They're trying to trade him right now. There's going to be no market for this guy, man. We're not going to be able to cut him. And then if he gets up by somebody, he's going to be in a competition for a backup spot. Sam Darnold went to the Panthers. He started. He started some games. He wasn't great, but he won some games. Like, Zach Wilson's not going to have that opportunity. That's not what it is over here. Like, that's what we got to be real about. Like,
he's speaking truth, though.
You might think it's
I can understand that. We can pinpoint Zach Wilson all we want to. But at some point, we got to take a look at the organization, because y'all have some quarterbacks that come through there. Y'all have some quarterbacks.
I agree with you. The organization is just as culpable in Zach Wilson being as terrible as he has been, as Zach Wilson has been. But I do think, like I said, with Sam Darnold, even a Mark Sanchez, who Mark mentioned earlier, Mark Sanchez wasn't great either. But you know what, man? That dude, he at least practiced hard. He tried hard. He wanted to win. He had the respect of the locker room. The locker room respected Mark Sanchez. Those men played hard for him, man. And they supported him. They would hold it down for him. They would defend him. The locker room was wearing Mike White T-shirts last year.
Word.
They were wearing Mike White T-shirts. So the organization is just as culpable as any of this. We are the worst organization in North American sports right now. We have the longest playoff drought of any team and any of the, well, I say the 3 professional sports. I don't really consider hockey to be a major professional sport.
Yeah,
I don't know about you guys.
Yeah,
but
I got you.
In the MLB, NBA, and NFL, we have the longest playoff streak, Q-Dog. We haven't made it in 13 years, man. We haven't made it since I was in high school. I'm a grown man now with a family, and a whole career. I just see the team in the playoffs, bro. Like, so this is what I'm trying to say. Like, it's the whole thing is messed up, Q. The whole thing.
Okay, to get back to the original question of Zach Wilson, yeah, I just feel like, his time there, I mean, we talking about no type of pro that nothing he could put on his resume to present himself. Like, it's like going to look for a job without the proper experience. Yeah. And, so he's in a bad situation. I don't think no team would want no parts of that. He's still in like
any team could use him. And
right.
Honestly, to mention something that, like, even Mark was saying before, right? To mention and back to your point, Q. These guys, right? When you draft a really great QB, they're supposed to lift and elevate a bad situation. So you can say, yeah, our organization might not be the best, and I agree with you. Clearly, I agree with you 100%. But also, like Mark said, there are some guys that have gone into terrible situations too and uplifted it and boosted it and changed it around. And Zach Wilson had an opportunity to do that. And he played with better talent than Sam Darnold did. Our roster isn't the worst roster in the NFL. We have some pieces. We have Garrett Wilson. We have Breece Hall.
That defense is off the chain, bro.
Yeah, but I'm saying, Zach Wilson, we're looking at him, and he's not a master motivator.
Exactly. That's what I'm trying to say. I'm trying to say his teammates, they don't even respect him the level of they did as like a Mark Sanchez, who, they knew he wasn't the best player, but the guys, we were together. We had team unity. They respected him. They knew they could win games playing the style that he played. Zach Wilson never conjured up that belief in the fans, in the organization, and in the locker room itself. And we saw that with the whole Mike White ordeal. We saw that with the whole Aaron Rodgers ordeal. Y'all watch Hard Knocks. You saw the way they were talking about Aaron Rodgers. I mean, Nicole Hardman was he looked way too excited talking about Aaron Rodgers.
What was that game? What was that game, Justin, year before last when y'all played the Bengals and they beat the brakes off y'all? And Zach Wilson, every time he hiked the ball, man, the crowd booed.
Every time. And you also had the Jaguar game last year, the Thursday night game. I was at that game. It was freezing. It was raining. And that was the night he got benched for Chris Streveler. The guy that couldn't even he could just run. Yeah. He was like Dan Lefevre or Tim Tebow. All you could do was run with him. Yeah, and we had him out there, and the fans were going crazy. I was going crazy. I was chanting his name. We all wanted Chris Streveler in the game.
Yeah.
No one even knows who that is. Everyone was like, yeah, let's go. Yeah. Like, come on, man. Like, so this guy, I get what you're saying, Q-Dog. The organization is as much to blame, but Zach Wilson is a lot to blame too, and I just think it's best for both parties to split. Because
and I understand that it's not cohesive, it's not working together as it's supposed to be. But at the same time, when you get rid of that and him coming in, being a high profile quarterback, dealing with that organization for 3 years, now he's garbage. Yeah, he's trash and he's all that. So it's hard for him to go out there and really get a team to really look at him. Now, what's that to say?
Kid.
Yeah, so what's that to say about the organization moving forward? As far as you got Aaron Rodgers, who predicted, you might get one good year out of him. So either it's AFC Championship or bust. So from that point on, then who you gonna bring in now? You're going through this carousel of quarterbacks. You got to have a staple figure that's gonna come in there, and if it keeps evolving like that, then it's gonna point back to the organization that they don't know what they're doing, and they can't get the right person in there to lead that team the way it's supposed to be led. It's going to point back to them.
Yeah, I mean, to me, it's clear that the organization doesn't know how to put those pieces in place to lead us. And honestly, Q-Dog, I think that next season we're going to be with a new coach and a new GM and probably a new QB. It's going to be a total rebuild because I don't see a world where we're competitive this year. No, I just don't see Aaron Rodgers playing a 17, 16 game season. I don't see us being able to get a backup that is good enough to win games if and when he goes down. I don't see us being able to get 3 to 4 new linemen and get those guys started up. I don't see it. So
here's the
it's
thing.
kind of going to be a reset again.
It's going to start. Let me tell you what my problem with the Jets is. It's not the players. It's Robert Salah.
He's another one too. He got to go.
He got to go.
He's got to go.
I'm gonna tell you why. Because that team has young dogs, young dogs, talented. We played the Jets this year, and I give respect to that defense. They gave us hell. That defense was off the chain. But when it come down to situations like this, Robert Salah, and we've been saying this about any and every coach, you got to get those. You got to rally the troops together. You can't just sit on the sideline and stand there and look. You have to rally these guys. Zach Wilson played like shit that game, but you need to grab Zach Wilson by his helmet or whatever the case may be, grab his attention and talk to this man and say, listen, you are a quarterback. You're going to have to just get it together. You got to figure out some way. You can't be continue to make these mistakes. Nobody talked to him. Guess what? Spillane, interception, game over. You see what I'm saying? Like, there's nobody in his ear. There's nobody on that team that's going to get him hyped up. Aaron Rodgers is not a type that's a guy that's going to go in there and get them all hyped up or whatever. They need somebody. They need a coach that's going to. I mean, because the Jets. Let me be honest with you, man. The Jets are pretty good to me. I mean, they just a few pieces away. I know Rodgers is at his lane years or whatever, but goddamn, if you get a coach in there that's gonna get some energy and stuff like that, those young boys are gonna feed off that.
We had an opportunity this offseason. There was great coaches available, but right now, Aaron Rodgers is the GM, owner, president, and leader of the organization.
That's the problem.
And he wants to play for Robert Saleh. And Nathaniel Hackett because he knows he can do whatever he wants and run the show with those guys. So that's why we stuck in what we're dealing with. So, I agree with you. Robert Saleh definitely has to go.
He has to go.
The Jets to advance and to grow as a team. But it's not going to happen, man, because my team is a joke. All my teams are a joke, man. I'm a Mets, Jets, and Nets fan. I'm a Mets, Jets, and Nets fan. All of my teams are a joke. So I just, I'm just trying to, get through it. And hope for the best, man, because it hurts. It hurts, man, having the Jets be so bad. And I know that we're not close to a championship, man. The closest I've been for real, it was KD's toe, man. KD's toe on the 3-point line. I know you guys remember that, man.
Yeah.
Bucks. Yeah. That shot, man. If his foot was one size smaller, man, I might have had myself. I might have had myself a ring.
Yeah, the Mets are trash, bro. The Mets are garbage.
Nah, I love me some KD, man. Even though
the Mets with them.
Oh, the Mets. Yo, you know what, man? They might be all right this year. I don't think we're gonna be great, but we might be all right. We might surprise some people.
Not on us.
Nah, not on the Braves. The Braves are a powerhouse, man. The Braves are gonna be good for.
Say it again.
Yeah, the Braves. But you know what? The Braves. I don't think they're gonna get it done in October. So
we just choking.
Yeah, I love watching them. I love watching them.
We can't get past the damn Phillies, man. Oh, they got us 2 years. Oh, I'm sorry, Mark. Mark, what you think, man? Zach Wilson. What do you think? What do you think you should do? I mean, this is a lot. This is like batting out the Babe Ruth. But what you got?
I got a lot, actually.
Okay, come on with it.
Believe it or not, I've been over here stewing. As far as his prospects in the NFL, no. Just no. And to defend Justin and address something that Q-Dog said real quick, can't believe I'm saying this. Q-Dog, this is a situation where, in the case of Zach Wilson, it's not on the organization. You could blame the organization for the failure of Sam Darnold because they gave him Adam Gase as the head coach. They didn't give him any receivers, any weapons on offense to really work with. In the case of Zach Wilson, you've given this man a bevy of solid draft picks at running back, receiver, and especially on the defensive side of the ball. A good running game and a good number one receiver and an excellent defense are all supposed to be the best friends of a quarterback, especially a young quarterback. The Jets just saw that play out earlier this decade when they had Mark Sanchez in back-to-back AFC title games. But the reason why it's not on the organization this time It's specifically because they gave Zach Wilson a chance with a bevy of weapons on both sides of the ball for 3 years. Not one, not two, 3 straight years. And not a single time in any of those 3 years did he show any sign of improvement whatsoever. He was a bum when he came in with the Jets, and he's a bum on the way out. I hate to say it, but I literally have absolutely zero faith in that young man's ability to play quarterback in the National Football League. To be real with you, I don't even think he could convert to another position and get another chance in the National Football League. If it was me,
he can't even do
I would leave American football alone, and I go north of the border to try to get on with the Canadian Football League. A big field where you can run around. Yeah. Your receivers already got a head start running the football. You only got 3 downs to get a first down, so you got to be on the field even less. Go try to catch on in Canada. That really might be your best bet. A lot of guys who didn't work out in the NFL went up to Canada. Manziel flamed the hell out. Please don't.
Oh, yeah, he had a tough time over there.
Yeah, tough time. Cap did too. Cap is up there. Ain't Cap up this deal?
No, Cap never went.
Yeah, I don't think he played in the Canadian.
They tried, but he never went.
Oh, okay.
But Johnny Manziel flamed out his first drive of the game. Please don't do that. Zach Wilson go up to Canada and try to play up there.
That's another bust.
But I do not put the failure of Zach Wilson on anybody else but Zach Wilson. Because, again, you had 3 freaking years with a bevy of weapons, and not one time did you show any single sign of solitary improvement. Just want to address that. To address something that Justin said, address 2 things that he said. I can think of 3 guys who were drafted in the top 10 of the NFL draft who are on par with, if not worse, than Zach Wilson, all right? I'll give you Trey Lance, Paxton Lynch, and Josh Rosen. Those 3 guys are either at or worse than Zach Wilson. Believe it or not, there are people out there that were worse. So you're not alone there. As far as a pathway forward for the Jets, there are 3 different names I think you guys could sign to back up Aaron Rodgers, who, if Aaron Rodgers gets hurt, would be competent enough quarterbacks to keep you not only competitive, but I believe help win you some games. Number 1 would be Jameis Winston. If the Saints decide not to re-sign him, I think James would be pretty good in the Jets in that locker room, being the backup. Believe it or not, I think Drew Lock would be as well. Drew Lock turns the football over, yes, but a dude can really move the ball downfield, and he's not too bad at reading defense. He ain't Tom Brady level sharp, but he ain't bad. He's better than Zach. But the number 1 target for the New York Jets, if you need not only a backup quarterback, but somebody who can lead you into the future for a few years, is a guy that I know quite well, who is about to become a free agent. His name is Mason the Big Dog Rudolph. You've seen what Mason Rudolph did for Pittsburgh last year when Kenny Pickett flamed out, like I said he was going to do. Shout out Deuce. When Mitch Trubisky proved he won't worth being the top 10 pick, that's another one for you, Zach Wilson. Yeah. Go out there and get Mason Rudolph. He's the perfect understudy backup quarterback. He's a proven winner in the National Football League. And he proved, especially last year, that even if you got to throw him in last minute, he can still win you some games and lead your team to the playoffs. So I would be looking at one of those 3 guys to come into the Jets that'll keep you guys afloat and lead you forward. Maybe if you want, you can even try to take a swing at one of Washington's quarterbacks, either Sam Howell or Jacoby Brissett. I feel like one of them are going to be available. Bring one of those guys in as well to see if they can compete. But that's going to be your pathway forward. And again, if you're really, and I hate to say this, if Josh McDumbass is still the head coach of the Raiders, we probably would be the team that would trade for Zach Wilson. I'm not even joking. I genuinely believe Josh McDumbass would do that, but thankfully he's no longer our coach. But yeah, I think Zach Wilson's got to be toast in the National Football League because, again, you were given basically 3 full seasons to show what you could do, and there was literally not an ounce of improvement anywhere in your game. So I think he's toast.
I agree with your point about Jameis Winston, first off and foremost, just because he's somebody that I've personally wanted the Jets to sign for the past, I want to say 3 years, just because I really think that he could, like I said, not maybe lead us to a Super Bowl or anything like that, but just keep us competitive with the roster that we have and actually take some chances and score some points and maybe win some games. And I wouldn't be upset with Mason Rudolph. I'm looking for a little bit better for sure.
A little bit better.
But I
He
wouldn't.
led the Steelers to the playoffs, man. What more do you want?
I think that Jameis Winston's better than him. I just do.
Okay.
So
Come on.
I would prefer Jameis Winston. I think he's had more production, more value. Also, to piggyback off a couple of your points about being worse than Zach Wilson, I don't think it's fair to say Trey Lance is worse than Zach Wilson yet, just because he hasn't played enough games.
Yeah, I agree.
As Zach Wilson has. Zach Wilson's thrown a lot of balls in this league. Trey Lance, the story really isn't written on him yet. He obviously it's not looking good right now, but he might end up, being decent. We never know. He could end up being a solid QB.
If you can't read defenses as an NFL quarterback, you really think you got a chance?
But he
couldn't read defenses in preseason, bro.
He needs reps, though. He hasn't played enough games. If he could develop. I mean, we saw earlier in the year Jordan Love was having a really tough time reading defenses. As the year progressed, he got a lot better with it because he got reps. He practiced. He played. So he needs to. We don't know. The jury's still out on Trey Lance. Then it's unfair to group Zach Wilson and Mitch Trubisky because Mitch Trubisky should have won a playoff game. The double doink robbed him of a playoff game. They missed a field goal. And he led a drive to get them into field goal range.
He did
that game. So he wasn't great. Mitch Trubisky sucked, but he was better than Zach Wilson by a decent margin. He made a Pro Bowl. They went to the playoffs with him as the primary starter. You get Paxton Lynch. Paxton Lynch sucked. I got nothing with him. And you get Josh Rosen. But also Paxton Lynch and Josh Rosen weren't the number 2 overall pick. Those guys were the 10th overall pick and the 12th overall pick. They weren't the second overall pick in the draft like Zach Wilson was. So, that's why I said at that high of a pick, being that bad, it's been a little while. The only one I really think you could really group him with, and their numbers are very similar, is Jamarcus Russell.
No.
I mean,
their numbers are similar. The numbers, their production, their
ass across the board.
Exactly. So, outside of that, it's been hard to find guys that have been as bad as Zach Wilson. So,
Ryan Leaf.
I like the energy, but I don't know if you can really put those two guys, up there with him. The only one, like I said,
Matt Leinart,
Jamarcus Russell, and the jury's still out on Trey Lance. We don't know yet, but I think you made a good point with the backups. Like I said, I wouldn't be upset with Mason Rudolph. Like I said, I do think Jameis Winston is better than him. I think Jameis Winston has, thrown for more yards than him, more touchdowns, for sure. And he's won a lot of games in this league. Jameis Winston has won a lot of football games in this league. So I would take him as the backup. But, I mean, to wrap up the whole thing with the Jets, man, like I was saying when I was telling Q-Dog, all these moves, we can make all the moves in the world, man. We can add all 22 all-pros to offense and defense, and we'll still find a way to go 7-10, man.
I feel you, bro.
What we do, man. I am scarred. But you know what, man? I'm a loyal fan, so I ride with them till the day I die. I still buy gear. I still watch all the games. I haven't missed a Jet game in years, man. Maybe 15, 16 years. I watch every Sunday. No matter what, I drop everything. I'm crazy enough that I take my son to my mom's house during the Jet game. So I could just lock in and focus, man. I don't gotta worry about anything. That's where I'm at with that team. But
hey, this guy like that when the Vikings come on, boy.
Hey, I believe him. I respect the passion, man. That's how you gotta be.
When the Vikings come on, man.
At least Q-Dog has seen some winning, man. At least he's seen some playoff appearances, conference championship game. At least you got some stuff to really hang your hat on. The Jets, what do I have to hang my hat on? Even Mark, Aaron, you guys at least got to see a Super Bowl appearance in 2003. You remember it. You have the idea. I've seen nothing, man. My good times are back-to-back AFC championship games with Mark Sanchez and Rex Ryan. Those are
at least you went down, man.
That's sad, man.
I got you.
I think, honestly, if we're being real about the Jets, like I said, to wrap this off, I'm not going to go on too long of a rant, but the only thing that'll ever really change is if Woody Johnson sells the team, man.
Oh, good point.
Sell the team. Yeah, and what we really need to do is we need to move into our own stadium, man.
Which is happening, right?
Stop sharing a stadium and living within the shadow of the Giants. We need to branch out and really get our own identity, our own.
Where the hell you gonna put it though?
And make
they building that now. They building that now, ain't it?
No, we're still locked into the MetLife lease for another year.
Are you serious?
For another 2 years, yeah, and then they have the option to go back into it, which I think they're gonna do. We there's been a couple times throughout the years. There are the Islanders, the hockey team. They recently built a new stadium in Long Island in New York, and I personally feel the Jets should have taken that land and put our stadium there. I live 10 minutes away from the Jets stadium, and Long Island's about an hour and change from me. But I would be more willing to go to the games out there than to, go 10 minutes away from me to experience having our own venue and our own identity. Because I think that a lot of our problems have been centered around the Jets have never had our own venue in the history of the franchise. I don't know if you guys know that, but the Jets have never had our own venue. They started in the Polo Grounds. They used to share with the Mets. Then they shared Shea Stadium with the Mets. And then they left to what was called Giant Stadium, which the Giants obviously had, and then now it's MetLife. We've never had our own thing, our own identity, and I think a lot of our issues stem from just that higher level ownership, the business level, and then it just all stems down. So I think in order to really enact change with the team, we need a new owner. Woody Johnson's owned the team for 25 years and hasn't got it done, man. So that's when it'll really change. That's what I really think, Aaron.
Time for him to go.
I'll tell you one thing, y'all do shine in the draft, though.
I don't even know about that, man.
No, I'm saying the fan base is always there with the helmets, with the 5 helmets,
and the Hall of Fame. We had so many Jets fans show up to the Hall of Fame to get these guys inducted. We had Joe Klecko and my favorite player of all time, Darrell Revis, get in, and I couldn't make it down there, unfortunately. My son was born Hall of Fame weekend, actually. So I wasn't ever going to be able to make it down there. But, the Jets fans, we have a great fan base. I go to 2-3 games a year. The fans, a lot more of them are a lot more upbeat than I am. There are a lot of them that are optimistic. They think that we have an opportunity to really turn this around. I'm more of a realist. I'm a pragmatist. I like to look at things, from a realistic view. And I just know that until I see it with the Jets, I'm not believing anything. I'm at the point where I need to see it happen first before I could really say, yeah, I think we could turn this around. But you're right, Q-Dog. I mean, we do show out. We show out for the draft, the Hall of Fame, anytime there's things like that, But hopefully one day I get rewarded for all this pain and suffering.
Yeah, who you telling?
But hopefully one day. I thought it was going to be with Kevin Durant in the toe, man, because I'm one of the last, 7 remaining Nets fans on the planet, but it didn't work out.
Speaking
you're in a very tough division too. I mean, that's to come to the top of that division. Of
course, the Patriots owned it for 20-something years, and then all of a sudden they got bad, and the Dolphins and Bills got nasty quickly.
Right.
Even though the Dolphins ain't never going to win a playoff game, but that's a different story. Never. Never that.
Good regular season, man. They got a score.
Guys, Mike McDaniels too.
But you talk about Kevin Durant, so why not talk about his counterpart? To wrap this thing up, man, we got LeBron James.
Go.
Nah. Stop. Come on, man. Don't start that. Come on, Mark.
I go, Trip. LeBron James scoring tracker. Lakers star approaching 40,000 career points. LeBron James is 9 points away from becoming the first NBA player to reach 40,000. It's obviously reasonable to think that he'll get in when the Los Angeles Lakers host the Denver Nuggets tonight at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time on ABC. James has scored at least 9 points in each of his last 762 games that count, including playoffs. He's been held under 9 points a total of 9 times in 21 seasons. And in other words, 40,000 is about to happen. And since 50,000 points probably won't happen, though one never knows with the 39-year-old James, this will be another moment that is certainly worth savoring. His words, and I quote, "No one has done it. And for me to be in this position at this point in time in my career, I think it's pretty cool. But it's one of the top things I've done in my career? No. Does it mean something? Of course. Why wouldn't it? He's going to average about 25 points this season. There hasn't been an oldest player in the NBA to average even 10 points since John Stockton scored 10.8 per game in 2002, 2003. James is probably going to finish with the highest scoring average of any oldest player ever. Abdul-Jabbar was the league's oldest player when he averaged 23.4 points in 85 and 86. So, Justin, good old Justin, my man, is LeBron. This is the biggest argument, probably the greatest argument known to man right now. Is LeBron James the GOAT?
Hell no. Never has been, and he never will be. And don't forget that one of those 9 games in his career where he was held under 9 points was in the finals. He had 8 points against Dallas in the 2011. I think it was Game 4. 8 points in the finals. I know Kobe or Jordan never did that. But no, LeBron is not the GOAT. And the one thing, we was talking about this before we got on, that I got to give LeBron credit for, and I think it's pretty clear. I'm not a LeBron fan. I'm just not a LeBron fan. He is not my guy. Never has been. Never will be, for a variety of reasons. But, he is not the GOAT because Michael Jordan.
Rich homie.
And,
what up, Rich homie?
Michael Jordan is number 1 and Kobe Bryant is number 2. They're the 2 best players of all time. And the one thing I will give LeBron James immense credit for, and I really do mean this from the bottom of my heart, I respect the hell out of him for this, is that he's still balling out at his age and doing what he's doing at his age. The longevity is amazing. But I also think that LeBron personally invested in doing the longevity thing to try to, make himself last longer, because that's going to be his rebuttal, because he knows that on the court, he cannot catch Michael Jordan. He knows that. He has admitted in the past that he is chasing the ghost of Michael Jordan, but the ghost has outrun him and lapped him over and over and over again. LeBron James has repeatedly played on the best teams in the NBA, and throughout his career, he has only what I would consider 2 valid rings. He has, the Ray Allen rescued his legacy by hitting a 3-pointer against the Spurs. He rescued his legacy. He saved his career, literally, by hitting that 3-pointer. So that saved him. And then he got a ring in the bubble, the COVID bubble, in which he got to rest for 4 months. Anthony Davis got to rest for 4 months. You eliminated the component of traveling. You eliminated the component of playing on the road in hostile environments. He didn't have to fly anywhere. Every game was at the same location. His body was able to get maximum rest. So I don't really validate that ring either, because, they didn't win it over the course of a true 82-game season where they had to, travel in and out. They got to take a 3 or 4 month rest, get their bodies right, get healthy. They were an older team and come back fresh. And then he won a championship that way. Without that, he's got 2 rings that I would consider, legitimate rings. And even me and Aaron were talking about it before. One of them, they mysteriously suspending Draymond. All of a sudden for, doing some stuff that they could have easily suspended Draymond for the following season's opener. Season. And playing the finals. And we all know that if Draymond played in that finals, the Warriors were winning at least one a game 5 or game 6.
Oh, hell yeah.
You know that, because then obviously, Draymond came back, but by that time, the vibe, the energy, everything had shifted in the series. Mm-hmm. So, LeBron is very close, very easy to having maybe 1 or 2 rings as opposed to 4, which to me just, these are the reality situation, whereas we know Jordan never even went to a game 7. Jordan had it wrapped up every time. There is no ifs, ands, or buts about Jordan's rings. There is no questions about Jordan's rings. They were all signed, sealed, delivered. And then we got Kobe, who, did play in 1 game 7 against the Celtics, but, the rest of his championships were taken care of. He took care of his business, and I think Kobe replicated Jordan. And he's the closest that we'll ever see to Jordan. So I think that's why he's him number 2. And then I think, a conversation can form after those 2 for whoever else you want to put. There's a lot of guys that belong in that conversation. LeBron is in that conversation. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar is in that conversation. Magic Johnson, Will Chamberlain, Tim Duncan, Shaq, a lot of these guys, Kevin Durant, Steph Curry. And another big indictment on LeBron is that Steph Curry won 4 rings in the middle of what was supposed to be LeBron's era.
Yep.
Because in Jordan's era, nobody was winning rings in the middle of it.
4.
You know, Jordan had his 6 rings, and he retired, and the Rockets were able to win 2. Because if Jordan didn't retire, he might have really damn well run 8 in a row.
Preach.
He might have. So, and
LeBron
never came close to executing anything like that. You know, he had these battles with the Spurs. He had these battles with the Warriors. Jordan didn't have no finals rivals.
Right.
Even Utah, who took him, battled him twice. He still took him out in Game 6 both years.
Took him out.
Game 7.
Took him out.
1 suit. He carried 1 suit for that trip to Utah. He told his whole team, "We're taking 1 suit.
Yeah.
We're not playing in Game 7."
Yeah.
So LeBron has never been the 1 suit guy. You know, LeBron is always it's coming down to the last second. Game 7s, he's played in a ton of them. You know, he even let 20 and 19-year-old Tatum and Jaylen Brown take him to a Game 7.
Word.
Things that, you know, these other guys, these other greats just didn't do. And also, I think that, you know, I really do give credit to LeBron for later on in his career adding a jump shot and making that three-pointer a legitimate weapon in his game. But for too long in the middle of his career, his prime, he was not able to consistently hit jump shots in big moments of games. And teams were able to defend him, specifically the Spurs with Greg Popovich, by passing the paint and letting him shoot. Yes. And, you know, nobody has ever said, let's let Jordan shoot.
Right.
Let Kobe shoot.
Right.
It happens because you know you're going down if you do that. So
Chuck Daly made defenses just for Michael Jordan. Chuck Daly.
Exactly. So, you know, and to me, I just feel like LeBron, you know, I always think to when they played the Warriors in those finals, and him and Kevin Durant were matched up, you know, head to head. Kevin Durant, to me, was clearly the better player on the floor in both of those finals, including back-to-back years, hitting 32-footers in LeBron's face in the same spot on the floor over and over again to ice him with no reaction, nothing, sending him home. I know you remember those shots. 32,
Get out of here.
Right, swapped it in his face. So, you know, it's things like that where, you know, LeBron, obviously he's in that conversation, but then I look at a Kevin Durant and a Steph Curry in his own era, and there's reasonable conversations to be had that they're on his level.
Yeah.
And, you know, and that's how I feel about it. So, because I think Kevin Durant is a 6'11" Kobe.
Let's go.
He's one of the best offensive forces we've ever seen in this game. 2-time champion, MVP, finals MVP. So, you know, and I just really feel like LeBron, obviously, he's one of the 10 best players of all time. But in his era, you had Kobe, you had Durant, you had Curry, you had Tim Duncan. And, you know, Shaq for the early portion. These guys are all guys that I view that are on his bar. Yeah. On his level. They really are.
Shaq is. Man, I tell you, that was all said. Mark, I'm going to let you go. But I'm going to tell you something. I can agree with Justin more. I mean, oh, my God. That dude right there just. Mark, go ahead. Because I'm going last. I'm going last. Go ahead, Mark.
This is the most overrated debate anywhere in professional sports. Michael Jordan is not the GOAT. I know y'all in love with him because of The Last Dance and all that garbage. No. He's not the GOAT, bro. LeBron freaking James is the greatest basketball player that has ever walked the face of the earth, bro. And it's not even close. Like, nobody scored more points in their career than LeBron James. LeBron has 60 more playoff wins than Jordan. Everybody talks about the run that he went on. LeBron had the same daggum team every year he went to the finals playing with future Hall of Famers on his squad. LeBron ain't never had that kind of support. And then the one time he did, he beat Steph Curry and the Warriors so bad that they had to go out and get a Kevin Durant just so they could compete with the greatness that is LeBron James.
Barely beat him.
So bad.
Barely beat him. Barely beat him.
LeBron, people forget when Michael came into the league, he didn't start making the playoffs until we got into the 90s, bro. LeBron within his first 4 years of being with Cleveland Cavaliers, a team that was a perennial loser, couldn't win anything at all. Within his rookie contract, LeBron had them in the finals, bro.
Now, Jordan was making the playoffs, but he wasn't winning. But he was making the playoffs. They made it against
Keyword was not winning.
He put up 63 points in Larry Bird's garden. And
in the garden.
Second and third year in the league. He
was
back crossing them with the original ones on, popping shots. And then they would go to the playoffs and they would lose to the Pistons. but he was making it in the late 80s. And Jordan, 6-0 in the finals, 6-time Finals MVP.
Yeah,
because he had the same
Irving to hit the game-winning shot for him to win.
He had Scotty
and Allen to hit the game-winning shot.
Oh, come on!
LeBron's most iconic Finals moments. Somebody else hit the game-winning shot for him. Kyrie Irving, Ray Allen.
Yeah.
Michael Jordan's most iconic Finals moments is Michael Jordan hitting the shot, besides when he hit John Paxson and Steve Kerr. And those were the early series games.
I can't take it no more. I can't hold it no more. LeBron James is not a killer, bro.
No.
He's not a killer. That's the difference between
No.
Ask Dylan Brooks in the Grizzlies if he's a killer. Come on now.
Has he killed it to win a championship?
He killed your Spurs to do it.
And the Spurs beat him too.
I think Mark don't understand the definition of what you're talking about when you're talking about a killer. Somebody that kills with a game-winning shot.
Yes.
That's what they're talking about.
Take the team.
LeBron James ain't known. He's not known for
how many times did he
hit you with a buzzer beater.
LeBron,
ball in his hand the last 8 seconds.
He did it against Detroit. Most playoff buzzer beaters ever. He did it against Detroit in the Pirates of Auburn Hills when he's with Cleveland. He took over that game. Yeah, he did. And in Boston, he did that too. But come on, Jesus Christ.
He's also been locked up in big moments, Aaron. He's also been locked up in big moments. We've seen Boris Diaw in the finals lock him up.
Boris Diaw locked him up.
Boris Diaw shaped like me.
Klay Thompson locked him up.
And the Bad Boys Pistons locked up Jordan.
But what happened after?
The Bad Boy Pistons beat Jordan up.
Him up.
They didn't lock him up. They beat him up. They punched
Jordan beat him so bad that they didn't want to shake his hand afterwards because Jordan beat him so bad.
LeBron played in that era. He wouldn't do anything.
People try to bring up LeBron like losing to the Spurs and the Ray Allen and all that good stuff. Y'all got to remember, this man went to the finals 8 straight years. Those are some pretty long seasons. Not to mention all the times he played on the Olympics.
In a weak-ass Eastern Conference. He was playing the Raptors every year in a weak-ass
Eastern
Conference.
The Eastern Conference was trash.
It was trash. Who was the teams he had to beat to get there? The Raptors.
He beat my Charlotte Hornets a couple of times.
Michael Jordan had to beat the 90s Knicks, who were a physical
team.
Good team. He had to beat the
Indiana Pacers.
Reggie Miller, the Davis brothers, Rick Smits. He had to beat some real squads. He had to beat Penny, Shaq in Orlando. Some real squads that could.
Penny and Shaq were rookies, man. They were young.
Yeah, but they beat them. They 1 year with him when he was wearing 4-5. So he had to come back and beat them the following year, bro. I think you need to watch The Last Dance again, Mark.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Penny and Shaq, they went to the finals against Houston.
Yeah,
they was the truth. Penny and
Name
Shaq,
any athlete in any sport, who can say that they legit dominated the sport for 21 years. Was unquestionably one of the best players in the world.
Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
Yeah, exactly.
Kareem ain't got nothing on LeBron.
Yes, he does. He has a very similar resume. And Kareem has more rings than him. Kareem's the second leading scorer in NBA history. He had the most unblockable shot.
Who did he get passed by? LeBron.
He won his own ring. He won with Milwaukee. He won with LA. He won in different styles. He won as a back to the basket center. He won running up and down, Showtime style. Don't disrespect Kareem Abdul-Jabbar now. Come on, Q-Dog. Tell him about how Kareem was.
Let me say this.
Q-Dog.
No, LeBron James had to team up to get his titles.
So did Michael. Michael had to team up with Dennis Rodman and Scottie Pippen. Dennis, Scottie, Steve Kerr.
3 before Rodman.
He won 3 before. He won with Horace Grant.
Word.
These are guys that the Bulls drafted and developed. They weren't going out and recruiting people. Jordan never called Isaiah Thomas.
Jordan
said, yo, we should play together. LeBron tries to play with every star. He just tried to play with Steph. He wanted to play with Steph Curry.
You know what I'm saying?
He goes, I want to play with Steph. I would love to play with KD. Wow, I would love to play with every great player ever. I love how easy this is.
He took the Cleveland Cavaliers in 2007, who had nobody but him and Mo Williams, and they went to the NBA Finals, and he couldn't cut it because he got swept. He ruined the NBA by making it acceptable to go to these super because
teams.
he shut down.
Everybody used to feel like,
So Paul Pierce didn't do that before him?
No, hell no. Because LeBron James went on ESPN for 1 hour, and the world wanted to see where he was going to go.
And with the Celtics,
that's marketing. That's smart.
The Celtics,
that's cockiness.
There was some teams Celtics that they made great. Like these guys.
I'm doing my thing, man. I'm living my life.
It's cockiness, bro. I think that's cockiness. What it is, he shut down ESPN for 1 hour to see where he
That's
wanted to
marketing.
go. That's cockiness.
That's using
Okay,
your brain.
so you go to Miami and you talking about we're gonna win not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4.
It's the press conference. Who don't do that?
And then he lost to the Mavericks with Jason Kidd, Jason
He got
Terry,
killed by Dallas.
They ain't had a chemistry yet. LeBron still balled out though.
He had 8 points in Game 4.
He teamed with a Hall of Famer, Dwayne Wade. Michael Jordan, after he left, he went to the Wizards, and he was
trash.
40s, but he didn't looking for no championship. He already got 6. He already got 6.
I think there's a couple things. I think that you really, like I said,
Mark,
you really discounting Jordan and how great that
Mark
6 games and 6 appearances is. LeBron has a lot of final losses, bro. Like you mentioned, he made 8 finals in a row. He also lost a lot of finals, bro. Like lost mad finals to the Warriors, lost 2 finals to the Spurs.
Yeah.
Like he takes losses in the finals. Jordan never took those losses. Kobe's record in the finals is 5-2.
Yeah. Kobe won without Shaq. That was his whole purpose to win without Shaq. Back to back. 2. And he beat a great Orlando Boston Celtics team and a great Orlando Magic team. I ain't gonna say by himself, but goddamn, he had Pau Gasol and Lamar Odom.
You would say LeBron went to the finals 8 years in a row. You get that, but he had some of the best rosters in the entire NBA in those 8 years.
Also, when you play for 20 years and you don't get hurt, and you don't get hurt, of course you're going to score a lot of points.
But that's the steroids and the juice. You heard Kevin Garnett said steroids and the juice.
But look,
steroids.
You know LeBron is in the juice. Come on, let's be real. LeBron under the juice.
Listen, you're 6. Listen though, you're 6'9", bro. Listen, you're 6'9", 260. You're 6'9", 260.
Never get hurt.
Never get hurt.
I mean, we know he fakes a lot of injuries, like when he showed up with that fake head cast after the game, or when he in Game 7 when he pretended to be on the ground by the camera, but he liked the dramatic effect. That's what LeBron does. But
LeBron James he's a great player, but you score 25 points by playing bully ball. You take the ball, you rebound, and you run straight through people. You run straight through them, and guess what? Who's going to get the call? Mostly that defensive player.
And I just think overall that Kobe Bryant was just a better individual basketball player than LeBron in terms of skill level, handling the ball, shooting the ball, reading the game properly. LeBron is a great passer. I'll give you that. He's a better passer than Kobe.
Phenomenal.
He's a more willing passer, one of the best passers of all time.
Oh God, yeah,
he gets that. But in terms of reading the game, and like Q-Dog was saying, knowing when to strike and take over and be that killer and hit those game-winning, those dagger shots. Kobe's the guy with that, man. And he's the guy of that era.
Not just Kobe, Justin. Allen Iverson, Reggie Miller. Hell, Paul Pierce was a killer.
Yeah,
I mean, come on.
Way more than LeBron has ever been.
Absolutely.
Sure. Kyrie more of a killer than LeBron. At the end of the game, Kyrie's coming for blood.
Kyrie is nothing more than an overhyped version of Ben Simmons. Get out of here.
Yo, Mark. Mark.
Nah, bro, it's LeBron the GOAT, then it's Kobe, then it's
Kyrie
Michael.
And Ben Simmons?
Because Kyrie stay hurt all the damn time.
When he plays, he's one of the most.
One thing I can say about Kyrie, he got the best handles ever.
Yeah, he got the best handles.
I see a lot of basketball. Can nobody handle that ball like he can?
He can score 50 points. He did against my Spurs.
If you look at just his numbers when he plays, his player efficiency rate on these teams, he really might be one of the best point guards of all time.
Yeah, Mark.
But from when he plays, there's been very few point guards in the history of this league that have been as good as Kyrie Irving has.
Right.
I was at the Nets game a few weeks ago. This man is locked down live. Kyrie is crazy, bro.
Mark, here you go, baby.
Ben Simmons, that's wild.
They both stay hurt. And they both play for the Nets, so why not?
But who's more effective?
Yeah, but Kyrie, when he plays, he is one of the best players at his position ever. Ben Simmons, when he plays, doesn't really do anything. Kyrie Irving, LeBron does not win that game 7. He doesn't win that series without Kyrie. Kyrie had 40 points in game 5, 41 points in game 6, and then in game 7, he's the one who hit the game.
And you had J.R. Smith coming over. He had 21 points.
Basketball is
14 seconds left on the shot clock. LeBron James threw the ball to Kyrie Irving and faded away. Yo, we all play pickup basketball. You know that feeling where you want the other guy to score, you throw him the ball, and you take a couple shuffles to the left. Like I said,
he had belief in his teammate.
Because he didn't have belief in himself because he knows he's not that guy. That's why he kicked the ball out to Mike Miller in the corner in the finals. That's why he kicked the ball out to Kyle Korver in the corner in the finals. He dropped it to Kyle Korver.
Yeah.
He knew he had a look. So all these things, because Kobe, you can say whatever you want about that man, but he's taking that shot, bro.
Yeah, he's taking it.
He's not kicking that shot to Kyle Korver.
I love Kobe. Yeah. Kobe's the second greatest basketball player of all time to me. It's LeBron at 1, Kobe at 2, and Jordan at 3. That's just
why
how
are
it
you
is.
disrespecting Jordan like this, though? Like, why are you trying to disrespect Michael Jordan, bro? That's
crazy.
Not.
I never saw Mike play. Like my memories of Michael Jordan, him with the Wizards.
That's why.
I never saw him play either, but we don't.
YouTube show it.
We don't have to see
it. YouTube got a whole library of Michael Jordan.
Understand the impact and the greatness. You could just know the greatness. We know the numbers. We know the impact.
The dude was on a 72 and 10 team in the regular season. 72 games and only lost 10.
6-0 in the finals, man. 6-0.
They had a squad around him.
This was in an era when men played basketball, when centers were centers.
Physical game. Physical.
When power forwards was power forwards. When 3 guards was 3 guards. You know, when defense, when you can hand check. You can't even hand check them all now.
Nowadays, you breathe on somebody, it's 2 free throws.
Name another athlete in any sport who had more hype going into their professional sport than LeBron James, and name one athlete who lived up to or even exceeded the hype that they came in with.
Tim Duncan.
Tiger Woods.
Tim Duncan.
Tiger Woods.
Tim Duncan got 5 titles with the Spurs and didn't go nowhere.
Tim Duncan
and he battled Shaq. And he battled Elijah Warren, Ewing, Kobe.
Tim Duncan, one of the 7 or 8 best players of all time.
Damn right.
Tim Duncan has just as much a case as LeBron does. Honestly,
exactly. Or more.
They played in 3 finals. Tim Duncan is 2-1 against them.
Back-to-back MVPs.
And he dominated for years too. He dominated for 20-something years, almost 20 years also. He was good for years. Tim Duncan was averaging 18 and 10 his last couple of years in the league.
Right. And he beat LeBron twice.
Beat him twice, the big fundamental.
Yeah, he swept him the first time, and then the Ray Allen look.
It should have been 3-0 against him, and they should have had him in Game 7 because he missed that little layup that he made for 20 years straight. He smacked the floor after you never saw Tim Duncan show emotion. Y'all remember that? He smacked the floor.
Smacked the floor, bro. In 2014, when the Spurs beat him, and all of a sudden the air went out, then they said, "Oh, LeBron James is cramping." No, LeBron James is getting the brakes beat off of him because they lost 4-1.
They killed them. They not just beat them. They killed it. Patty Mills
was unconscious, bro.
Patty Mills, bro. When did Kobe ever lose a series to somebody like a Patty Mills doing something stupid? Like, this is what I'm saying.
Only time Kobe got murdered like that, I would say, in the final was when Jason Terry went off in 11 when they beat him in the Western Conference Finals. The Mavericks did.
Jason Terry was at the end of 2 straight finals runs. They were
it was over. It was over for Kobe.
And Andrew Bynum got ejected and suspended
because he punched JJ Barrera. He punched JJ Barrera.
Yeah, so you know what I'm saying, Mark? You got to realize that Tim Duncan, he's just on that same, level there. What we got, Q-Dog?
Hold on for a minute. Boy, now that rant right there lasts for about 25 minutes, 30 minutes at the most.
Ladies and gentlemen.
My boy, Mark, man. I mean, y'all ain't let that man come up for her, man. I mean, y'all hit that man. Y'all hit that man with stat after stat after stat, straight in the breastplate. That man can't sit back there and just shake his head. He can't. It's just too much coming out of him, man. And my view on it, let me say something about.
Get you some.
let me get something in there. I'm not gonna go as long. I'm just not gonna rant as long. When we're talking about the GOAT, we gotta look at, like Mark just said, he never seen Michael Jordan play in his prime. He never seen him. See him toward the end of his career. So the only thing he can go by is what somebody say and what he might see on the internet. But seeing this man live, he never seen him live. And so he's in a different era. He's in the LeBron James era. That's the era he in. So we are fortunate to see Jordan and LeBron. And we can make the comparison because we've seen both of them in their eras. So I can say, to me, I don't really say that somebody's the GOAT. We know different players are dominant at their eras. We never seen all these players play at the same time. We never seen Magic, Bird, Jordan, Kobe, LeBron. We never all them seen them play in the same season. Imagine how that would be if we seen all them play in the same season. Oh man, it'd be something special because we know that all these players are, they're good at their craft and they want to win. So I can't. When you start to do this, you see how y'all going on. We can talk all night long. We can talk all night long. Mark can come up with his stats about LeBron. Y'all can come up with y'all stats about Kobe, Michael Jordan, and he's still gonna put LeBron number one. He's a current player that's playing. He's about to get 40,000 points tonight. So he is a living legend.
Absolutely.
Okay, so his eyes are more focused. The eyes are more on him than these other players that have retired. So when you talk about these other players, you have to go in your memory bank. Bring out memories, bring out stats that they've done in the past. But we can see LeBron on TV right now, tonight, still currently playing. So it depends on who you're asking. Are you going to ask the younger generation? It's 2024. Oh, yeah. These kids now? Yeah. You know where they headed. LeBron James. Because that's what they see. So to me.
Yeah, that's what they see, but what's on their feet?
Can I make a confession?
That's what they see. Hold on. That's
a good point, though. I understand.
I'm only 28, and I think Jordan's the GOAT, though.
No, fuck that. What they see, what is on their feet?
I understand, but you have broadened your horizon, though, Justin. You have broadened your horizon.
I just want to confess
you're a sports guy, so you look beyond the era of the LeBron James. Even though you growed up, you was only 8 years old when this man came into the league.
Damn. I'm factoring everything though, but I want to hear what Mark's response.
But my general saying, I can't say who's the GOAT myself personally. Because I can say,
hell you can't, Q.
No, I can't do it, man. Because there was dominant players in different eras, and all these players never played in the same season. So we can only just take stats and what we believe and could try to compare these players and who would be the most dominant in the season.
Okay.
But I think that's part of the reason why Mark said this might be the most, overhyped sports argument, because there is so much that goes into it.
I mean, it's just so much. It's just so much to deal with.
Okay, so who is the most influential, entertaining basketball player?
I have to say, Oaks, I have to confess something. I used to be hardcore into the whole LeBron is light years ahead of Jordan debate because, again, I had never seen Jordan play outside of his time with the Wizards. But truth be told, the real reason why I don't support Michael Jordan is because I am petty. This man made my basketball life a living hell for the over part of a decade, bro. That's why I hate Jordan.
Are you kidding me?
He made my basketball life hell for a decade, man.
Wait a minute. So you
see what I mean, Q Dog? By saying
that, Mark, you're proving that point.
I just want to mess with him. I just want to mess with him.
Bro.
But no, Michael Jordan legit did make my basketball life a living hell for a decade.
But you got to know, if you're a LeBron fan, Steph Curry's the one who made your basketball life miserable for a decade.
It's not because of my love of LeBron. I was a Charlotte Hornet fan before I was a LeBron James fan. That's why I hate Jordan.
No, the hell with this. I'm talking about what Michael Jordan did on the basketball court.
I get where you're coming from, man, but what I would suggest is hop on the YouTube one night when you can't sleep, type in Bulls Jazz Game 6, 98 Finals.
Let's go.
Just watch the whole game. They have the whole game on YouTube. Watch the whole game, uninterrupted. NBC broadcast.
Can he watch?
Look at the impact and specifically look at the fear that Michael Jordan strikes into each opponent on the Jazz. And these Jazz players were good. They had Stockton, Malone, Hornacek. They had a big team. They had Hornacek hitting threes. They had the big dude, Ostertag. They were good. So they weren't like scared enough. But you could see at all times, they're like, shoot, we got to watch out for Jordan. Offense and defense.
Damn right.
He's on defense too. He's getting steals. He's guarding the other team's best player. Yeah, Byron Russell. He's a good guard. Jordan's locking him up.
That's what you call killer instinct.
That's a killer.
That killer was in him. Killer was in him. It was in him that game. I remember that.
This was a killer though, Q. 1997. This dude, quote unquote, had the flu, but we all know that he had goddamn food poisoning, but from a pizza that was delivered to him in Utah, and he scored 38 points.
Yep.
And the thing about it, in that game, Pippen was killing too. He was shooting some clutch ass shots. But that last shot, ain't no way in the hell Jordan was gonna get that up.
No,
he wasn't gonna give it up. He wasn't giving that ball up.
People forget, Q. Right before that last shot, the reason why they even got the ball back was because he stripped Karl Malone.
He stripped Karl Malone.
He stripped him from behind. So not only was he the killer on offense, he was the killer on defense. He knew they needed to get the rock back. He came from behind, swiped it, give me, took it, came up the court.
Let's not take away from Scottie Pippen, who had a hurt back. His back was hurt. His back
was hurt. Killing him too. He was dropping them. He was dropping the bombs in his mouth too. Now.
Yeah, but he had a hurt back.
I think all those things factored in. You know that is why we can't. At least for me.
Yeah, I mean, in that particular game, I know what you're talking about. Both of them were hot in that fourth quarter. Both of them were hot. You could not go wrong. But Pippen was mad at Jordan because he was hot. And he felt like that last shot, Jordan should have gave the ball to him. But Jordan wanted to make sure that he was the one to put the dagger in Utah's chest and broke it off. He wanted to do that.
I'm gonna switch just a little bit. The Michael Jordan, the Michael Jordan thing, of course. But I see, Mark. But what I want to get at is even Dwayne Wade in 06. He would not have won that title if it wasn't for Shaq coming over. No.
Yeah.
Teams have to play. This generation has to team up together in order to get something. Back then, those guys competed. You never seen or heard Larry Bird say, "I wouldn't mind joining up with Magic Johnson."
No.
Hell no.
That wasn't even thought of.
You never heard.
They even wanted to play with each other.
Exactly.
You
never heard Isaiah Thomas say, "I want to go with the Bulls," even though he's from Chicago. He's from Chicago, and never said that he would like to play with Michael Jordan. Isaiah Thomas, he never said that.
No.
They never did.
No, you're never supposed to join your competitor. You're not supposed to do that.
Are you kidding me?
Now LeBron ushered in the friendship
era. That's a paradigm shift.
It's a sign of weakness.
LeBron started the friendship and handshake.
No matter how good you is, and you go join your competitor, that's a sign of weakness, man. It's a sign of this.
Kobe would have never done that. Kobe would have
never done it.
Kobe never done it like that.
No. That's the only thing I knock LeBron for. That's the only thing I knock him for. Right there.
That's it.
That's the only thing I knock him for. Everything else is all right, but yeah. that rant right there will go on forever.
Mark knew what he was doing.
I did.
Mark get everybody fired up.
That's what I do.
Oh, I'm tired. I'm tired, boy. Oh, all right, man. That's the end, man. We're gonna get up out of here. Lord have mercy.
Hey, listen, thank you for having me back. Y'all have a great time with you guys, man. It's always a good convo, man. You guys always bring something good to the table. I love hearing all your perspectives. You guys are really knowledgeable. Each one of you guys, you each know your stuff, man. It's always a good time with you guys, man.
So here's the question, though, before you go, Trigger Man. Trigger Man. I like that. You coming back?
Whenever you're happy, bro. You got my contact. You got my stuff. You got my email.
I got the email and all, baby.
Yeah, yo, hit me whenever you want, man. I'll come back whenever you guys want.
If you want to see Justin on this show, give me a hell yeah.
Oh yeah.
I ain't got my hell yeah, buddy. Yeah, man. I think
let's do it soon. When you guys running again? When you guys going again?
Oh, man, we on every Saturday, man. We on every Saturday.
Oh yeah, man. Hit me up whenever, man. I'll be around. Let me know.
Oh shit, there you go.
Yeah, I'm coming for Mark, man. You know I gotta come for my boy Mark.
Yeah, man.
I'm coming for him. Maybe next time I wear my LaMelo Ball Charlotte Hornets t-shirt. Something like that.
Hey. Don't mention LaMelo Ball. I can say something that really gets you fired up.
Oh boy, yeah.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
All right, let's go get out of here, man.
We'll definitely be back, man. I look forward to chopping it with you up guys again, man. Q Dog, I'll catch you. Mark, I'll catch you, man.
Yes, sir, man.
Okay, bro.
I'll talk to you guys
for
sure.
Got you, bro. All right,
bro.
Ladies and gentlemen, that is our show for today, man. As always, we want to thank you. Thank you for watching stopping by and watching the episode of the Real Sports Podcast and Real Sports Talk Show, man. Please remember, hit that thumbs up, man. Hit that thumbs up. And if this is a cool show to watch each and every week, whether it's are you an NFL or NBA? Oh, I thought you was gone, Jesse. You still here?
I'm still here. I'm logging off right now.
Oh, okay. All right. But again, man, if you're an NBA fan, NFL fan, or UFL even, man, we cover that too, man. Come on by, man. If this the show, hit that subscribe button and turn on that bell for all notifications, man. Again, man, we want to thank Justin for coming through, man. I'm telling you, that brother there speaks the truth, and I'm telling you, I am so grateful that the man answered the call when I called him, man. Again, man, hit that thumbs up for us. We're going to get on out of here. So it's good to have the dog back in the building.
Yes,
the dog is back, the OG, the legendary Q Dog.
Yes, sir. I enjoyed the show. I enjoyed that Michael Jordan, the GOAT debate. That's a debate that will be talked out forever. Even when we leave this earth, it'll still be going on. The GOAT debate. So, man, I'm just telling you, man, I enjoyed being back here. I missed the podcast family, man. I love you.
We missed you, bro.
And, I'm glad to be back here, man. Warms my heart. And so the fans are glad y'all come. Live chat now. Y'all got to tighten up. I ain't seen y'all in a minute. Where you at, Soldier on the boards? Come on.
There you go.
All right,
go on, roughing it now.
All right, let me come out here.
There you go.
Yeah, but I'm glad to be back here. Yeah,
the dog is here, baby. Yes,
shout out to all that came and checked us out today. We look forward to you coming next Saturday, baby.
Yes, sir, man. And we get out of here, man. We will be coming back with some more sports talk this Tuesday, man. Me and Mr. Episode, the man of the hour, Mr. Episode, man. We will be bringing you some more of that smoke. So come on back this Tuesday at 7 p.m. live right here on YouTube, because we got sports to talk about, man. It's the off season. So still believe in your team. Keep believing in your team, but most importantly, believe in yourself. Keep moving forward in life, no matter how hard the situation is. Keep moving forward, man. And everybody around the world, be safe and stay safe. On behalf of myself, host, the dog, Episode, we out.